Sudan's army has accused its rival paramilitary Rapid Support Forces of opening fire on a Turkish evacuation plane as it landed at Wadi Zedna airport outside Khartoum. Sudan's armed forces releasing the pictures that they say show the plane. These have not been verified by us, though, so not verified yet by the BBC. Turkey's foreign ministry confirming the aircraft sustained small arms fire, but said no injuries were reported and the C-130 plane required repairs.
"14 months into this war, the heartbreak deepens. Rescue teams scrambling over rubble in central Ukraine in search of survivors whose homes have been blown apart. A Russian rocket slammed through this apartment building in the city of Uman. Dozens of residents killed, including children. Overnight, Russia launched an aerial attack on Ukraine. Some 24 missiles fired. The Kremlin claims to have been targeting army reserve units. Only absolute evil can commit such terror against Ukraine, declared President Volodymyr Zelensky, before renewing calls for help in the form of weapons.
Iran has seized a Marshall Islands-flagged oil tanker in the Gulf of Oman in the international waters. According to the U.S. Navy, this is the latest in a series of seizures and attacks on commercial vessels in Gulf waters since 2019. U.S. Navy identified the seized vessel as the Advantage Sweet. The vessel issued a distress call at 1:15 p.m. as Iran seized the vessel in international waters in the Gulf of Oman off the coast. It had been chartered by oil major Chevron and had last docked in Kuwait.
A growing crisis in South America is leaving hundreds of Venezuelan migrants stranded at the border between Peru and Chile. The migrants have been trying to get into Peru with the hopes of continuing on to their home country. Well, we've come across these shocking images showing the migrants actually shoving Peruvian Border Patrol officers after they say they were denied entry due to lack of documents. Peru's president now declaring a state of emergency at the border, hoping to stop the violence. Chilean lawmakers are calling on all countries now in the area to create a humanitarian corridor that would allow migrants to pass through safely.
Tonight, hundreds of migrants crossing daily on the Rio Grande. Officials say it's perhaps an indicator of what's to come ahead of the end of Title 42 after COVID restrictions are lifted across the country. Here at the Mexican border city of Matamoros, an encampment of primarily Venezuelan and Nicaraguan migrants prepares to cross the river. The rush accelerated by fear among migrants, with the Biden administration announcing stricter rules for entry as Title 42 is set to expire next month.
Tonight, the Army ordering a service-wide stand-down, ordering all aircraft to stop flying sometime next week for 24 hours to focus on safety. This comes after 2 deadly mid-air crashes within a month. Thursdays involving 2 Army Apache attack helicopters flying in tandem, colliding with one another in the skies over Alaska. 4 soldiers on board, 3 killed, 1 injured.
There are no obvious external factors. The sun was still up, the weather seemed to be good.
The crews of the Black Hawk helicopters that crashed at the end of March in Kentucky were flying in the dark with night vision goggles when they collided during a training mission. 9 soldiers lost their lives in that crash.
The Friday night sky lit up by an inferno. In the middle of the flames and billowing black smoke are used cars, dozens of them stacked and now fueling the blaze. Locals noticed the smoke early. Within minutes, thick black clouds visible kilometres away. It began just after 5 and took more than 3 hours for 10 firefighting crews to extinguish it. Today, the destruction became clearer. Dozens of cars burnt out, the storage structures collapsed.
Well, this month, according to the United Nations, India surpassed China as the most populous country on the planet. India is now home to more than 1.4 billion people and growing. India is expected to hold this title for the rest of this century, but there are some worries with this. Will India be able to provide enough housing and jobs for a population this big?